It's still too loud. They don't know how loud I really am without a mic. Okay. Wow. I am so excited to be here. Just getting started. Welcome to our clients, our friends of the firm, the AB employees, our summer interns, and our new associates that just started at AB today. It's like not like this every day. I'm just warning them. On behalf of the firm, I'm clearly shorter than the next person that's going to be using this. On behalf of Alliance Bernstein AB, I'd like to welcome you to our annual Pride event. Welcome, our 10th year. In addition to my role as a financial advisor, I didn't say my name, I'm Anthony Thompson, you know me. I have the privilege of heading the firm's LGBT network, which I started when I joined the firm 10 years ago. I want to give a shout out to my partners in crime, Susan Joyce and Jeananne Salisbury. Susan, who is in charge of our communications. Jeananne makes sure she's the treasurer, that we don't overspend on nights like this. Thank you. And most importantly, Janessa Cox. I know she's in the room. You're not wearing like your heels high enough tonight. I can barely see you. Head of Diversity and Inclusion, who makes almost everything that we do with respect to diversity and inclusion at Bernstein possible. I also want to give a shout out to Dave Barnard, who heads Private Client, who generously helps support this event, Kim Mustin and Joel Stevens, who also run our advisor pools in New York, and several of the other advisors that are here tonight, Rich Murray, Lisa Stone, Sue Kaplan, Renu Parker, Stephanie Weiss, Tony Cook. If you're not doing more business with your advisors after tonight, you should be. Shame on you. So, okay. And also, I want to thank the museum, the Leslie Loman Museum, for putting on this wonderful tribute, 50 years of Stonewall. Give them a shout out. One of the dearest souls of the LGBT community, who's sitting right over there, Charles Leslie, who without him and his vision for 50 years ago, starting to collect art that nobody else cared about, that nobody thought was important, because nobody thought gay people were important, and shepherding that through the next 50 years and making this museum possible. Charles, thank you. Okay, so now for those of you that have been to these events before, this is the part of the evening where I warm up the room, you get the gist, and I speak with some slides about the LGBT community. Well, spoiler alert, no slideshow. So I was thinking, how am I going to deliver a message this year without the benefit of all, hold on, Charlie, come over here. I am boiling hot. Charlie is my associate. Give a shout out to Charlie. I'm sorry, just give me a minute. Sorry, I am boiling.
Where's the Velcro?
New guy in town. Don't you think it drives Mike Pence crazy that there are 20 Democrats running and the one gay guy is from his state? Okay. Anyway, all right, a little bit of theatrics, whatever. But it's not about, we don't make political endorsements. But it's really more important that here we are in a moment in time when a gay man from Indiana can run for president. I mean, this is a big deal. And so, whatever happens, it's a change. It's something new. And I know the pendulum switches from left to right, and we can only hope that with each movement, we go a little bit more forward each time than we go backward. And maybe this is a little bit about moving forward. So let's talk just for a second about the last 50 years. We're here because this is the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots. I'm going to be brief. But I think it's shocking that as recent, most people don't know this, and when I say it, everybody Googles it afterwards because they just don't believe me. As recently as 2003, 2003, I mean, I have shoes that are older than 2003. It was still illegal for two men to have sex in 14 states. And 12 of these states still have anti-sodomy laws on the books because they're waiting. They're waiting. Alabama, Florida, Idaho, Kansas, Michigan, Mississippi, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, and the great state of morality, Louisiana. So basically what I'm trying to say is we're just one Supreme Court justice away. That was Lawrence versus Texas in 2003. Supreme Court decision that made it the law of the land that you cannot discriminate against gay people having sex, okay? We are one Supreme Court justice away from reversing Roe v. Wade, reversing gay marriage, and making it basically illegal for our future president to have sex in a quarter of the country. So how about that? So this is important to remember this when you vote and when you think and you support things like this. And you support companies like this one and yours that even though the country's not perfect, sometimes companies are. We have a 100% perfect score on the HRC Corporate Equality Index. Yeah. And, you know, many of you in the room also work for companies that have that. So we do what we can with the tools that we have. I completely lost my speech. Hold on. I've already said that, I've already said that, I've already said that. Okay, I think I'm kind of done with all this. Wait a second. Okay, so that's basically it. I mean, I think this isn't going to be a big thing. We've got an entertainer that's about to come up, but I wanted to mostly thank you all for being here. I also want to give a very, very, very special shout out to our events team. We have never done an event here before. Cassandra, Natasha, Joanna, and Jackie, who's out with the flu, who make sure that you have popsicles in your margaritas, you have tuna, you have this. I mean, this, and they have to work with me. I mean, it's just the worst. You can't imagine having that job. Oh my gosh. But thank you to them, and thank you for all being here. Your support means a great deal, whether you're a client of the firm, or a future client of the firm, or an employee of the firm. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. The last thing I'm going to say before I introduce our featured entertainment is those people that are here tonight that work for Alliance Bernstein, we have become the first official corporate sponsor of this museum, and you get to come. And you get to come here for free for the next 12 months. So if you don't get to see everything tonight, come back. For those of you that aren't corporate sponsors, go back to your employer and say, hey, there's this little museum. Let's just, for 1 second here, raise a show of hands. How many people have never been here before? All right, like there we go. Shame on you, right? That's why we're here, but now they've been here. So now they don't, next year they won't raise their hands. Go back to your corporate philanthropy offices and say, listen, guys and women, we need to support our New York institutions that are so valuable, that people like Charles Leslie that have, again, put aside a small space in Soho to allocate it to something that's very, very important to the LGBT movement. And your corporations and companies and friends should come and patronize this, because when these things disappear, we don't have them ever again. Now, who here has seen The Cher Show? Oh, come on. If you haven't seen The Cher Show, are you not alive? Come on, that's the best. I've seen it. As Erwin, my partner over there, knows, I'm a little obsessed with Judy Garland this time of year. Why be obsessed with Judy Garland, a woman who had 2 gay husbands, a gay father, a daughter with 2 gay husbands, and each of those husbands actually had an affair. How about that? So Judy Garland would have died 50 years ago, about a week ago, and about 50 years ago, the eve of the Stonewall riots, her memorial service was held here in New York City, and there are some conspiracy theorists, including me, that would say that Judy Garland was the reason why we have gay pride, because everybody was so upset that she died that they rioted the next day at Stonewall. You can make your own judgment. Anyway, when we were thinking of ways to entertain you tonight, and this is really the end of me and the beginning of what's really fun. A gentleman named Blaine Krause, who we got very fortunately to take a night off from the Share Show to come join us here and entertain you. Get your handkerchief ready, okay? I heard the rehearsal while I was in the bathroom, and I'm like still crying. He's gonna sing for you, and it's gonna be a little bit of a tribute to the woman that I've just been talking about. You can put it all together and enjoy. So thank you very much for being here. Blaine, where are you?